Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back, man. We are one day closer to that NFL draft, and I ain't stopping. Told y'all I got boatloads of it. Scouting reports for a Jalen Milroe quarterback who is rising up boards. Whether it's warranted or not, Milroe is definitely rising up boards and could potentially be a first-round commodity. I will be shocked if he is, because I think that's a drastic overreach, because he should be day two product at the best of it, but I understand quarterback-hungry teams, they require their quarterback. So let's talk pros, cons, and a great score for quarterback from the Roll Tide, Jalen Milroe. So to be clear, I am not a Milroe hater whatsoever. I do see the potential upside in his game. I just think that it's a reach, just like we saw with somebody like Anthony Richardson, who I also did say was too raw of a prospect to be a first-round commodity. You're drafting him for sheer prototypical stature and potential that he could have because of the big arm and rushing upside. Similarly, it goes to that same point with a Milroe. We're talking about what the rushing upside does potentially have with a very good arm, and see what he could do potentially in the NFL with some good tutelage. But let's talk those measurables. As always, 6'2", 217. He is 22 years of age, played in 38 contests, 64.3% on that completion percentage, 6,016 yards passing, 45 TDs to 20 interceptions. So the TD to interception ratio, not necessarily the best. And I mean, you see statistically, there is things to like about his game in this past year. We did see a little bit of regression. Statistically, he's not going to wow you off the charts, but he is an improving quarterback. He's got a lot of skills, a lot of potential, a lot of upside, and I'm going to definitely cover that in his pros. Good frame, beefy frame, even though he is, 6'2", a little bit undersized for the quarterback position, where you want to see it being anywhere from the 6'3" to 6'5" range. 1 inch isn't going to kill him. We've seen it, and his frame is definitely stout. He's going to be able to at least endure some of that punishment he's going to get when he is running the football. Fantastic athletic ability, man. Exceptional rushing upside, power, speed. You know this is what he is, right? For first and foremost, you want to say out of his game, the passing aptitude is definitely there. We have seen it from time to time, but if you're talking about drafting somebody like a Jalen Milroe, you are looking predominantly on the rushing upside first, in hopes that you could develop his pass game that much more. It's not a big problem because we've seen it happen in the past with other quarterbacks. The first one that definitely comes to mind is a Justin Fields. I do believe you give Justin Fields the opportunity to throw the football a little bit more in the NFL. Stop putting the shackles on the man. He's going to show what he can do. A lot of people already writing off somebody like a Justin Fields, but I mean, when you see subsequently with somebody like an Anthony Richardson, I think that's kind of where you are when you're talking about a developmental quarterback with a big arm, massive rushing upside. Milroe definitely falls into that category. Speed burst is phenomenal. This guy is a supreme rushing quarterback. I'm not going to go as far as some of the pundits are saying Lamar Jackson, because that's a little bit too rich for my blood, but Milroe is very good. He could take off anywhere on the field and break one for 60 plus yards without even breaking a sweat. He definitely is unbelievable when it comes to speed burst rushing upside. He does have a big arm. He can launch the football down the field. Is it in the Mahomes, the Josh Allen category? No, it's not, but it still is probably one of the better arms out of this class when you're talking about just pure deep threat ability and arm talent. He can definitely launch it down the field. Flick off the wrist release is good. I did like this about his release a lot. Definitely fools some of the defenders when it comes to his touch pass, how quickly he does release that football. It just flicks off the wrist and then bang, it is out. So you do want to see that. So mechanically speaking, there are things to like about his game. When I'm going to touch in the cons, you'll understand what I don't like about the game. He's flashed ball placement excellence, and this is not even a stretch of the imagination. We've seen tight window throws on the rope. We've seen it, back pylon in the end zone. We've seen the ball placement from a Milroe be there. It's very inconsistent overall. So when I say he's flashed the ball placement excellence, it's not a lie whatsoever. And this is what is getting some of the pro scouts excited about his game, to say, well, we've seen it more than once. We can definitely work with this and potentially develop it into great consistency in the NFL. We will see if that will happen, but you definitely have to say ball placement has been seen, man. He's got great levels of creativity as well, extending plays, whether it is just, rushing the football outside, escaping the pocket, or whether he's rolling out to miss a would-be sacker or would-be tackler, and he's either rolling out, to extend the plays left or right, does not matter. Milroe definitely has the creative upside in his game to at least extend plays and make something happen on the field. He is quick to reset and continue to look down the field before he does take off and scramble. That is very important. Well, the progressions, you can say, I'm going to harp on that a little bit as well in the cons. But, he's very quick to reset and then get his eyes back down the field to look for his open wide receivers. You do see this quite often from a Milroe. He's not willing to, just give up on the play all the time and take off and run. He does want to be a passer, which is good, and it does suggest that he is trying his best to at least progress the field, but the game can move a little too fast for him. But the fact that he is very quick to reset and then try to look downfield before he does take off and scramble is definitely a good check for me. He sideline to sideline and deep, you're talking about the arm strength. This is what you want to see. There is no laboring on the throwing motion. He does get it to sideline, regardless of where he is on the field. He can get the ball in places you're looking for, in part to that arm strength. Definitely is a plus for me. If you're talking straight up backyard football playmakers, this is what Jalen Milroe is today. Will he be this in the NFL? Potentially. Will he be better in the NFL? Potentially. There's a lot of question marks that definitely need to be rounded out in his game, but you're almost talking 1,300 rush yards in the last 2 years with Bama. I think we understand what he is capable of. Is it on the same trend as Lamar? No. But can he be a playmaker with his legs like Lamar? Abso-freaking-lutely. He can definitely do that. But for some cons, I got to take a deep breath for this one because there is a lot of cons for this man as well. Undersized stature, like I said, 6'2", because he is that rushing quarterback. We see somebody like A-Rich who is, 6'4", 6'5", and look how many injuries that man took. He's a put-together specimen, and he just gets pummeled with punishment. This is a concern for rushing quarterbacks that do take punishment. Lamar is very good at going down, getting out of bounds, not taking the big hits. We'll see if somebody like Milroe is going to follow suit or if he's going to, be like Anthony Richardson, try to take on would-be tacklers. That will definitely send you to the medical room. So injury potential on the rushing upside definitely is a fear for me as well. Decision-making, like I said, very inconsistent. Accuracy, progressions, timing issues. You see it so often in a Milroe that this is why you would drop him out of your top 5. I cannot drop him out of my top 5 simply because of the rushing upside and the excellent throwing capability and ball placement that he has shown. It is warranting to be worth taking a shot in the NFL draft in hopes that you can develop him. But, you've got a lot of growing pains that are going to be here. Definitely one of the rawer passers coming out of this draft class. Accuracy is so up and down. Progressions on the field, very much, inconsistent. Timing issues, missing the slants. You see it so many times. Definitely is a big concern. Lack of big boy throws over the middle, definitely another one for me. Whether it's sidelines down the field to his boy Williams there, he was hitting those like dropping them in the breadbasket, which you like to see, but you just don't see him challenging the zones over the middle in between the linebackers and safeties, over top the linebackers in between the safeties. You don't see that near enough to get excited to say he can do it. That's where you make your money in the NFL when you are a quarterback, is those big boy throws over the middle to extend drives, because you can take the outside away relatively easily, and then he's going to be running the football quite a bit. So you got to be able to attack the teams in the middle of the field. Just did not see enough big boy throws to get overly excited. I saw a stat, it was like under 50%, like 46% on mid-range passes on accuracy. One of the worst in this draft class when it comes to this quarterback class. Definitely a big problem, like I'm saying. Did not see near enough of it. When he did attempt it, it was under 50%. It's not a good situation. He needs to round this part of his game out big time. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge concern in the NFL throughout his career. So you got to work on this aspect of his game right from day one, hoping that you can iron this part of it out. Like I said, still a raw passer. He also regressed this year when it came TDs to interceptions. And it's one of those situations you were hoping to see him take a step up. And there were a lot of good plays that he did have, like I said, to his boy Williams, the wide receiver. And it just wasn't near enough statistically to be like, what was it, 16 TDs TDs, 11 interceptions this year, something like that. Just not necessarily the top-end stats you're looking for from a first-round passer. Can bounce the pocket too quick, and this is just, it's like, really? Duh. I mean, because he's a rushing quarterback. He's going to utilize his athletic ability because he is uncomfortable, because he doesn't see the play down the field for his wide receivers. The routes don't open up, and he's just going to take off and run. This instinctual nature in a rushing quarterback like this that will utilize his athletic ability, but eventually that will taper off, and he's going to have to learn how to throw the football as well. We've seen it with Lamar Jackson, where it took him a number of years to figure out his craft in the pass game, and we see what he's able to do in the pass game as well. So Milroe, he's still raw, still has some, abilities, in the pass game, but it definitely has got to round it out and not bounce the pocket too quick. Progress 1, 2, 3, and then take off is kind of what you want to see. Footwork also isn't ideal. At times, it is very sloppy, throwing off the back foot, not changing, body momentum, hip torque on the foot, step-ups in his pockets, just not good enough. And for me, mechanical issues definitely will harp on this man as he does, continue to play and try to round out his game. Mechanics are huge, and it all starts with the footwork. If the footwork isn't there, I really struggle to see how the rest of the game, rounding off, your arm motion, like I said, the hip torque and follow through definitely needs to be all stabilized with that footwork. But overall, Jalen Milroe is a good quarterback, and for grading purposes, I did grade him fairly well because there are some good things about his game, but he did slip in a lot of categories because of what the raw, issues and tendencies are. 73.7% for a Jalen Milroe, so he's definitely falling into that, good to very good ability, and it's due in part, he does, fly up the board, due in part to those rushing upside attributes, but does fall down in some of his passing categories, which is why he does fall down here to 73.7. It's not a terrible score, still in that very good ability, still in that potential upside. You want to draft a quarterback in the first round to maybe get that fifth-year option and then progress his game that much better, in the coming years. He's a good quarterback. Is he going to be great? That's definitely one of those question marks, just like I had for somebody like Anthony Richardson. So there you have it. That is Jalen Milroe, Roll Tide, Bama quarterback. I like him. I think there is a lot of upside, but there is a lot to worry about too, because you got to be extremely patient, and we know the NFL is not a patient league when it comes to developing quarterbacks, so the best thing for him would be on a club with already a aging starting quarterback that could take over the reins in 2 to 3 years, sitting on the bench and learning the game before he does have to be thrown into the wolf den, and to throw those passes. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do you think of Milroe? Is he worthy of a first-round pick? Is he not? Throw it in the comments. We're getting that much closer to the draft. I'm telling you, it's so good. We'll see you next time. I am out.